So we're joined now with Matthew Metaxas, 7 years in Dubai real estate, 7 years at Luxfolio, and we have a very wind-swept Sophie as the wind's coming over the top of this yacht right now, and who's been with us for 4 months.
It's so easy to say, like, just do it, just go for it, you know, give it your all, but you need to be 100% focused.
Matt, 7 years in, are you able to take your foot off the gas a little bit or not?
Yeah, you can relax in some instances, but I never do, and I think that's what keeps you at the top. Yeah?
How has your journey been in real estate? 7 years with Luxfolio, what's that look like?
Everything that you can imagine has gone on within the 7 years. Like, we've had ups, downs, ridiculousness, everything. Yeah, like just within 7 years. It's when we first started Luxfolio, it was me, you, Jack, and Hoggy and Aaron, and literally one Lux chair, like that Lux pod.
So what's your first 4 months been at Luxfolio? How honestly have you found it? Talk us through that a little bit.
So definitely going in, it wasn't easy. It's not going to be easy, but I think you just have to put your 100% in. You have to sit there the long hours, you have to do the calls, and it does pay off in the end. And sometimes, God, like the first couple of months I did think, what am I doing? Yeah. You know, and it's so easy to just give up, but you shouldn't give up, because if you give up, it's not worth it.
Good morning, everyone. We are currently out on a yacht, just floating around Palm Jumeirah to our right, Emaar beachfront to our left. So we're joined now with Matthew Metaxas, 7 years in Dubai real estate, 7 years at Luxfolio, and we have a very wind-swept Sophie as the wind's coming over the top of this yacht right now, and who's been with us for 4 months. So the question I wanted to ask both of you, just to kind of kick this off, is prior to you coming to Dubai and joining Luxfolio, what did you do? Maybe we'll start with you, Sophie. What were you doing before? What was your previous career?
So before I came to Luxfolio, I did 3 years at uni doing economics.
Nice.
Fell in love with it. I just really liked the way that looking at market trends, stuff like that. So I knew I really wanted to come into like an area with property, like finance and pricing, etc. And then for work, I did weddings. So a lot of client-based contacts, go across the country doing weddings.
Fell in love with economics. I don't think a lot of people will say that line.
I
Matt, what about you? What did you do? Keep it PG, but what did you do prior to coming to Dubai and Luxfolio?
Many moons ago now, but I was an estate agent in the UK.
Okay.
I was an estate agent from 19 to 23. Yeah, I was an estate agent.
Were you a good estate agent or a bad estate agent? Honestly. Okay, I think
I was good.
I think Paul said what it needed to say.
Towards the start, I was good, but then I started to coast, fell out of love with it, and that's when I moved here.
So how have you both found adapting your previous career, previous university, to living and progressing in Dubai? So Matt, you've obviously had 7 years in here. Coming from an estate agent in the UK to a real estate agent in Dubai, what's that transition look like?
It's completely different, I feel. I feel as though, I think it depends on the company that you're at, but I was with a high street estate agent, and I feel as though it's a little bit like an admin role almost.
Okay.
So it's very different. There's of course the sales aspect that you still have, but for me it's a completely different ball game out here.
It hasn't got as much hustle, has it, as Dubai real estate?
No. You can, but it's a completely different market. You're against some elite people here making 6-7 figures, like, so for me, yeah, it's completely different. It was a different stage of my life as well, so yeah.
And Sophie, I never had the luxury of going to university, believe it or not. How educated are they? How did you find coming out of university, which I know is a crazy world, party and all the stuff that people do at university, to just going that boom, Dubai real estate?
Yeah.
How do you even manage that process?
I don't really know.
Still figuring that out, are you? Okay.
No, I just knew when I was in my last year at uni, I knew I didn't just want to go back home as much as I love home. I just wanted to, I'm at such a young age, I've got such a good degree behind me that I just knew that I had to go for the top. I didn't really fancy London, you know, it was a bit close to home and stuff. And I just thought if I've got the opportunity to say yes, why would I say no?
Yeah, of course. Matt, if we do start with you,
Yeah.
How has your journey been in real estate? 7 years with Luxfolio. What's that look like? Recap the best that you can.
I think everything that you can imagine has gone on within the 7 years. Like, we've had ups, downs, ridiculousness, everything.
Ridiculousness.
Like just within 7 years, I've been through everything. I think for a lot of new people, like I do speak to a lot of new people that start, and I think that I'm good to talk to because I have been through everything that they will go through within their whole real estate career, from the complete bottom to not being very good at the start, which we'll probably touch on, to now what I think is a very, very, very good broker within Dubai real estate, very well known within my area, dominating there, and a lot of hard work that went into it for 7 years. So
yeah, of course. We'll not touch on too much how your first few months was, because I know there was a few baby steps when you came through, but that was 7 years ago now. So definitely come a long way. And then Sophie, obviously being 4 months in, but you've come in, I want to say like a bull in a china shop, and started smashing out deals straight from the get-go. And we're not talking small one bedrooms here. You've went into quite a luxury villa community and you've dropped some really sizable deals. So what's your first 4 months been at Luxfolio? How honestly have you found it? Talk us through that a little bit.
So definitely going in, it wasn't easy. It's not going to be easy, but I think you just have to put your 100% in. You have to sit there the long hours, you have to do the calls. And it does pay off in the end. And sometimes, God, like the first couple of months, I did think, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, and it's so easy to just give up, but you shouldn't give up, because if you give up, it's not worth it. And you get to a point where you think, right, this is what all their moments were for, and everything starts falling into place, and then it just starts going on from there.
And how do you feel about maybe sitting on this yacht in 7 years' time in Matt's position? Once time goes by a little bit, which I'm sure will happen, I've got no doubt about it. Have you been close to it? And honestly, I want to try and make this as honest as possible as we can. In them 4 months, although you're doing well now, as you see your first month or two, you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind to just call it a day, go home?
No, it really didn't. And I know some people obviously feel like that and think, oh, like go home. But I came out with the mindset that it's going to be a bit shit to start off with, and it's not going to be easy. And I think that's the mindset you've got to have, because if you're not 100% in and you're not going to break yourself to, you know, mold yourself, it's not going to go the way that you want it to go.
Awesome. So Matt, if you go back to year one,
yeah,
and then compare it to Sophie, what do you reckon starting year one looked like 7 years ago? If you can think how real estate used to work back then. Basically, how lucky is Sophie to be starting now in 2025, 2026 with what's available to an agent compared to when you first started?
Yeah, I think super lucky with everything that you can sort of get into now in terms of the data, the AI, all of those things that are now in place. You're already 3, 4, 5 steps ahead than when I started. The training was still there, but it's not easier now. But if you work hard, I feel as though you can get to the goals that maybe we had at the start. Your 100Ks, 200Ks that looked very, very hard when we first started. You can now get to those a lot easier, in my opinion, with everything that's in Dubai anyway. But yeah, the company size that we have at Luxfolio now is massive. When we first started Luxfolio, it was me, you, Jack, and Hoggy and Aaron, and literally one Lux chair, like that Lux pod.
A Lux pod we had, didn't we?
Like, so
yeah.
From that aspect, you've got an environment around you where it's easier to see those goals. With all of us, there was goals that we all wanted to attain, but I think we was at a point where we was building from the start, whereas you can see people around you that you want to be like. So in that aspect, I think that it's an amazing time to be coming into real estate. I do feel as though 6, 7 years ago when we started the company, it was something that I have good memories of, and I actually now enjoy that because of the journey.
Yeah.
So now it's like where we are, etc. Because of that journey of where everything was at the start, I feel as though it makes you even more happy to have succeeded.
Do you think if Sophie had walked into Luxfolio 7 years ago, she would have just done a U-turn and walked straight back out?
No, I don't think so. But the person that you are, I think that, as you said, it had to work regardless. I think that it was the same with me. Like, there was no way that I was going back to the UK all of that time. So although all of these things that are in place in terms of the training and everything you have, we didn't have them and we were still successful. So I think that there's a certain type of person that you have to be in order to succeed. It's great to have these tools, but if you've got the right mentality, you'll succeed regardless.
Yeah, so although systems and all that kind of stuff has changed, it's still the mindset hasn't. When you start, you still need to be ridiculously focused. So if you're a great example, like how many times have I left at like 8 p.m. and you're just sitting on that
Still
same
grinding,
chair, just grinding away. So, which might touch on the next question. If you was both to give a bit of advice to a new start thinking about coming over, obviously we're going on this UK and Ireland tour very soon, where we're going to meet loads of people potentially thinking about joining us. From someone who's been at it for 4 months, from someone who's been at it for 7 years, and Sophie, we'll maybe start with you. What advice would you give to them to get their mindset ready and be prepared for starting and about to go on their real estate career?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's so easy to say, like, just do it, just go for it, you know, give it your all, but you need to be 100% focused. You need to have, you know, the mindset that you're moving to Dubai for work. You know, obviously social and stuff, you want that aspect as well, but that will come in years to come. Like, you know, Matt in the position he is now, like, he's got obviously fantastic where he is in his career, but I'm sure you grafted at the start and stuff. Like, you do just need to get your head down. You need to do the late hours, you need to do the Saturdays, you need to do the Sundays to start off with, and then everything will come. And I think it's fantastic, the position, like I'm starting now with obviously Luxfolio, and it's a great company to see people that maybe didn't have a good start and then are now absolutely fantastic in the company. And it's great to hear them stories, because it just makes you think, God, I want to be like them one day. And it's a good environment to be around. And I think you just need to stay focused and you need to stay switched on. Don't do your first deal and think, oh, I can relax now, first deal's out the way. No, you need to keep going. Like, celebrate the wins, but switch back on straight away.
And did you know that prior to arriving? Like, were you aware of how hard you had to work when you were sitting in the UK?
No. I'm gonna be honest, no. I knew it was gonna be hard. But yeah, it's really cutthroat. The competition is incredible. The brokers that I'm working against at the moment are just phenomenal, and they're obviously putting in the hours. So if you're not making the phone call, someone else will get that listing. So you need to be on top of the game.
Awesome, and it's good to be transparent and turn around and say it is hard. There's nothing worse than someone coming over from the UK thinking it's easy. So Matt, what would kind of be your advice? Again, keep in mind we're going to probably be showing this in the UK to new starts you're thinking about coming over. What bits of advice? You've got 7 years of this now. What would you tell them to prepare for before they come over?
I think prepare for everything. As I said, in between, be comfortable with the uncomfortable is something that I always say. I think you're new to a city and a country, and with that, I think that it's going to take time to settle in. You've got to remember what you're doing, but have a why, have a purpose. I think once I had a why and a purpose, like as we said, 7 years in now, I have a family coming, I'm married now. When you have those things within place, you have that why, it drives you. Like, I know you said not really to touch on it, but my first couple of months within real estate was hard. Once it got to a stage where I had literally no money left, my back was against the wall, that's when I realized my purpose and my why, and that things could go back to the UK. So I think just have that mentality from the start. As you said, don't enjoy it too much. It's not a holiday.
Don't let the nightlife suck
you in. You're coming for work,
Like, but there's nothing more to say. It's not like we're not reinventing the wheel in terms of a deal is a deal, regardless of, as we said, all of the things that have been put into place. You're still just putting a buyer and a seller together. You're still putting a landlord and a tenant together. It's just hard work, consistency. That's all you need to do, and you'll succeed.
So to touch on like the hard work and let's talk about working hours, because that is what people kind of wanted to know. I remember when I was coming over, I was like, I wonder, everyone says you need to work all the time, but I always wondered what that was actually like. Because before I think I just finished work at 5 or 6 when I lived in Australia prior to this, and I just sort of went home. I went home and my phone was just doing its thing. I was speaking to my mum or something. It wasn't working like it was now or has been over the last 10 years. So when people turn around and go, you need to work all the time, what does that actually mean? What is that?
It's 24/7.
It's 24. Explain that. So when you go home, when you decide to leave the office, for you at the moment, you're like what, 8 p.m. Do you probably call it
8 p.m. probably, yeah. So I'll probably drive home, and then as soon as I get home, I'll check my WhatsApp business again.
Yeah.
See if I've had any messages, inquiries. Like, I think last night I got an inquiry at 1 a.m. and I woke up and
Well, you took
and
the
did it.
inquiry at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Fair play. That's probably why you're doing so well
Yeah.
to start with.
That's just what happens. Like you get a message, you have to reply. It's a potential deal. It's a potential landlord that could change your life. It's just non-stop. I remember when I went home for Christmas at the UK, I was waking up at 4 a.m. doing Dubai hours, and then obviously being in the UK. And
Yeah,
stuff.
if you miss a day,
If you miss a day,
WhatsApps are crazy.
yeah, someone else is doing that day.
And so obviously that's you kind of starting off. Matt, 7 years in, are you able to take your foot off the gas a little bit or not, honestly?
I mean, you can. You're in a position where, like as I said, I almost run out of money. You're in a position where there's certain things that you don't need to do, but you always want to. If you take your foot off the gas, you're just allowing someone else to catch up and take over from you. So, yeah, you can relax in some instances, but I never do. And I think that's what keeps you at the top.
So guys, you both chose to come and work for Luxfolio. Without sounding biased, I want honest answers, please. Matt, we'll start with you. I know we're going back to 1998 here or somewhere, but why did you pick Luxfolio, even back in the day when we were the company that we were 7 years ago? What attracted you into us then?
To be honest, I didn't really have a choice.
Right.
I didn't really have a choice. We all worked at a company prior. I was at that company for I think about 6-7 months. You guys started Luxfolio. I was doing downtown as an area, slowly started to specialize within Old Town, which was the area that you was doing at the time.
Yeah.
And when you moved over, of course, it was me and Jack were the first two that you contacted to ask if we wanted to come. And from my time at the old company, you took me under your wing. And for me, it was, as I said, I had no choice. Not like you forced me to, but for like...
I was going to say, I didn't drag you over.
But like,
Held at gunpoint.
the feeling that I had, the loyalty already that I sort of felt from there, I had to move over and continue to progress within downtown and the specialty that we had.
Yeah, we
there.
definitely had a great partnership when we were kind of starting off with that. And Sophie, obviously, you've just come out of university. You chose to come over. I'm assuming you kind of done some research. And how many companies did you interview with, honestly?
I actually only interviewed with Luxfolio.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
I did.
And you're just saying that now at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
did. I just saw it. I saw it on Instagram, actually, funny enough. And I was just like, I'd never really thought about real estate before, but I knew I wanted something with a client base because obviously from weddings, but I also wanted to use my degree in economics and do something, with numbers, data analysis, stuff like that, pricing. So I was like, I feel like it's like the perfect job for me because I've got the best of both worlds. I'm going out, but I've also got, the laptop and stuff like that balance. So I kind of just fell in love with Luxfolio, saw their Instagrams and saw everything. I liked the culture. I liked, doing shred fast for, the starters and stuff like that. And I really liked the culture. And I just thought, do you know what, that's actually the perfect place.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's the fact that you found us on Instagram is so
Yeah.
good. I mean, in future, probably interview some other companies before making the
Yeah,
decision.
maybe.
But I appreciate you going straight in with us there. That's for sure.
Yeah, no.
Well, Matthew, Sophie, thank you so much for jumping on. It's great to hear your stories and your journey. Really appreciate your time this morning.